Hi there, welcome. My name is Karen, and on here I make dresses for myself and my two little girls. And today I'm going to be making myself a very last minute Valentine's Day dress. Technically tomorrow's Valentine's Day, but my husband's working late and I'm not even gonna wear it for tomorrow. I was going to wear it for Sunday because we're doing a little Valentine's Day get together here at my house. I have a lot on my plate right now, but this dress is a dress that I really wanted to make. I found this fabric at Joann's. Look at it. Isn't she cute? Isn't she cute? When I first saw it, it was not on sale, so I was like, ooh, I need to make like the smallest dress possible with like the least amount of fabric possible. However, I found her on sale yesterday. I ended up finding this dress right here. It's so cute. It's so cute. This looks like a lot stiffer jacquard. This is pretty thin, pretty lightweight, pretty drapey. I really liked the different straps on it. I'm gonna somewhat replicate this dress. Here's the straps. I was trying to find ribbon. Ribbon did not work out. I did not see any good ribbon. I went across the street to Hobby Lobby to find this. It's like a scarlet red, but it's not fire truck red either. I think this with these straps will look really cute. I was trying to find more like a burgundy, but the burgundies that I was finding were like purple. They were like plum. I was like, I don't want plum either. Like, we're still doing Valentine's Day here. I have already made the toile. The toile fits pretty well everywhere else except the hips and the back area. Like my lower, not my back, but like my butt area, it just folds up real weird. I'm gonna go ahead and try and fix that. I have like no time. I'm gonna run to Michael's right now to find something else for the party. I still have to make dinner. I still have to clean up. I still have to photograph a 10-hour wedding this weekend and get ready for that. I still have to make our Valentine's Day dinner for tonight. Alright, so let's get started because I also have to go running, pick up my daughter from school, then come back and figure myself out here. Gotta go. Let's get to it. I'm on my own right now, so I have no help putting the zip up, so it's like not even there. I just want to get an idea of how much I'm going to take off from the pattern because I like this. This is going to stay this waistline. This still fits me here very nicely. So I'm actually just going to bring this down because I made this in order to be kind of like an oval shape. It's not that obvious and you can't really tell because of these thingies that they keep popping up and down anyways. But the plan is I'm just going to cut this straight here and then, you know, ease this down to the side seams. So I'm just gonna take some measurements real quick. I'm actually just gonna mark it from the style line up here down to where I want it. I'm gonna start 2.5 inches, and then everything else, honestly, everything else looks good. I think the back is fine. The back is fine. I like the back. I should check the length. Okay. Fingertip length 17. So I'm going to do 18 and I'm cutting 2.5 inches from the top right here. That should be everything from there. If it doesn't match up over here, I can just, you know, draw it through. But 2.5 inches from the top, like my waist, like this feels tight, but like a good tight. So here's the original pattern to that tan dress. Starting with the front, I redrew my center front and waistline. I measured how far up from the waist my new style line would start and drew a perpendicular line out from there. I make sure to match everything up perfectly so I can draw my bust curve with seam allowance already included. Then I add my seam allowance to the top and bottom. For the side front panel, I walked the edges together to see where my new style line would hit. I redrew the whole pattern piece and double checked with my center front. This time I don't want a curve, I just want a straight line and added my new seam allowance to the top. I'm basically doing the same for the back pieces, just redraw the waistline and the vertical seams. Then redrawing the style lines, making sure everything matched up. And that's about it for this pattern. The first thing I notice when I check my skirt block is that the darts don't match the bodice panel width. So first thing I do is move those over. I redrew the skirt block and added some length to it. For the width, I really did just hold the tape measure across my thighs and guesstimate how wide I wanted the skirt to be and divided it by 2. Just ignore that other random line that was already there on the paper. Next, I traced out the waist, dart, and that line right below the dart. I took the center front panel and marked the width right on my skirt pattern. To move the dart, I marked where my right dart line was on the horizontal line. From that mark, I moved my dart center a 1/2 inch to the left and drew the line up from there and connected my dart from that new center dart line. I marked another 1/2 inch to the left of the center line and finished drawing my dart. I cut that part of the pattern out so that I could fold the dart and straighten the waistline since I'll be attaching it to a bodice. But first I checked the width of the side panel. I used my hip curve to connect the new waist point to the skirt width point I made earlier. I labeled my piece and added my seam allowance. This is my first toile. I already folded in this top piece right here, 1/2 inch, just to show where the neckline is actually going to sit, because that would be my seam allowance. I decided not to cut off the seam allowance for this, just to make it easier on myself. And here's the length. I'm not 100% on the length. Like, I don't want it to be like grandma. Like, I'm not getting dress coded out here. I don't want it to be too short either, but you know, I could take off an inch. And as for the silhouette, so here's the other part that I'm seeing issues with. This. That right there is not cute. It is not sitting down well. Let me see. I need to get closer for the... Oh, yes. It is Spider-Man leftover fabric. I do have a sway back. So this right here may be, you know, if I just cut out a wedge from the skirt part, because my back here is fine. It's just this. Like, that's not okay. So I am gonna do something about that. And then this is gonna have boning on it too. I'm not too worried about the very, very slight gaping that there is, just because it's not going to be strapless. And I am going to do what I do with my girls, where I add like some ribbon on here just to see what it would be like with some straps. Let me see here. Just add this random ribbon I don't like. Oh, okay, be right back. How do we like this better now? Instead of pinning these ribbons on, I ended up like basting them on so that I have a better idea of what's going on here. I think I like this. I also pinned it up 1.5 inches. So I'm gonna cut off 1 inch and then I'm gonna leave the 1/2 inch for, or should I just do a wide hem? I might just leave it, but either way, at the end of the whole project, this will be the length. So it's a little bit past fingertips. Yeah, it's like 1/2 inch past fingertips. So that way, like, it still feels mini, but I'm not feeling exposed. Oh, this is cute. I like it. This right here has just stretched out a little bit, just from probably me messing with it. Other than that, I think we're good. Now that that's seam red, the plan is to remove the wedge of fabric from the center back. I start by taping the dart together, measuring down how much I need taken out. Then I blended the line back to the side seam point. All I ended up doing was placing the new pattern on my block panels and cutting out the excess. I think fixing the back actually lifted up the skirt. So good thing I didn't change anything about the hips. Like, do you see this? Like, I feel like you can see the shape better. So that's real cute. Here's the back. Look at this. I think that's much better. I think that is much better. There's enough billowing back here to where it's like I said, it's not a fitted skirt, so that's okay, but it doesn't puff out all weird. So the plan here is to start with the smallest section. I'll assemble the vertical seams of the bodice. I like to lay them out like this and clip them together already because I really don't want to mix up the right and the wrong sides of this fabric. This time I wanted to try something new and trim the seam allowance with my pinking shears. I still ended up having to make a closer snip under the bust though. Not really sure how I feel about it, but this is what it looked like close up. Next, I get started on my skirt by sewing the darts and assembling all the panels together. I did the same pinking shears thing on the raw edges of the seam and ironed those open. I had completely forgotten about the straps and I couldn't really continue without them, so I folded the fabric in half and I cut the straps from the edge to edge because at this point I just wanted the bows to be as big as possible.
I folded them right sides together. It was pretty easy, but I should have used my walking foot because they did twist a bit. And turning them was surprisingly easy though. Velvet has a nap, which is the raised surface, so you want to avoid flattening it when ironing. I used the leftover velvet face down on the straps and pressed the iron down a bit rather than moving it back and forth. So they didn't turn out perfectly crisp, but you know, I was running out of time. I wasn't about to work on that too much. I'm so tired, and this happens every outfit, but I have completed the prep work for everything. I just finished the straps. I pressed them as much as I could. I didn't want to squish them. They look pretty decently flat, and the seams are now on the sides, so I think that's good, if that's okay. I'm gonna base the straps onto the main bodice, attach the skirts, and maybe do the boning. I don't know. It depends on how long this takes, because I'm very tired now, and I do still have to photograph a wedding tomorrow. Yeah, let's keep going. As I'm watching this, I really do question why I basted the straps to the bodice before attaching the skirt, but I just keep in mind how tired I was that night. I finally ironed those seams open too. I took the seams on the lining and matched it up to the seams on the main fabric so that I can sew along the top edge. What I should have done was sewn the zipper on to the main fabric, but again, just giving my past self some grace here. I made sure to understitch, and this was actually what made installing the zipper afterwards such a headache. There was definitely some seam ripping that needed to happen. I was only able to add the boning to the back and side seams because I forgot to create a channel for the seams along the bust, since I can't just sew this one onto the curve or it's going to want to straighten out. And here we go, finally attaching the skirt and inserting the zipper. This is cute. I wish the velvet straps were a little softer, and I'm so sad that I just realized, remember this right here? Yeah, that's the pattern. That was not from stretching out. I can't really fix that now. That's fine. I have these are a distraction, like my arms are there, so I think the straps do need to be tied a little bit tighter. I had my husband zip me in before he went to bed so that I can make sure it looks right, so that he can tie the bows. Thank you so much if you made it this far into the video for my Valentine's dress. And excuse the disaster, I didn't even bother cleaning up the ice cream in the back. Oh my god. If you made it this far into the video, go ahead and leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. Consider subscribing because I'm definitely going to be making more dresses for myself and my two little girls. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know if I could have done anything better. Let's go ahead and just roll on over to the B-roll.